welcome to my channel. I am Manaka and this is my channel, Manaka. Oh, my Gucci and Prada that I would never wear because I feel like it's too flashy. But anyway, I haven't been here in a minute. I haven't recorded a video. I have had a lot to say, but most of what I'm saying is going to TikTok. I don't know, it just feels easier to just pull up a phone and be like, yeah, I'm gonna record a TikTok. But you know, YouTube, you have to like have the landscape vibe so it looks normal and blah blah. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about the lesson I just learned with this Mercury retrograde shadow period. So if we look at my chart, the ruler of your chart is usually your rising signs ruler, right? And if I look at my chart in the normal way of looking at it, my ruler is Mars. But if I look at it as the ruler it's supposed to be in the southern hemisphere, my ruler is Venus, right? Which is quite cool because I was born on a Venus day, Friday, and I think it's just, there's a lot of things that we can adapt if we really believe in them. So the unlearning is unlearning me. But yeah, recently I was reminded by Spirit that we need to remember how easy it is to slip into being a villain, to slip into being the bad guy, to slip into ego, to slip into our shadows and our traumas, and to slip into, I guess, the person we used to be, you know. I think that's one of the biggest reasons I like human design. Like I said before, the best way that I can explain it is that human design is the GPS that gets you to where you need to be. And the place that you need to be is your true self, right? And through life, we're always, what is the word that they use? Conditioned. We are always conditioned in life to be a certain way. We are conditioned in life to act a certain way, speak a certain way, look a certain way, and most of the time is not the true essence of our spirit and what we decided we wanted to come to this earth to do. Because earth is a school. Earth, literally, if you're still living on earth, if anything about you has to do with earth, like even I believe, what was I saying? I believe everything is a lesson. I believe that we are all still climbing the ladder. We're all still going through the levels. Being a human is one level in itself. Being an ancestor is one level in itself. Reincarnating is another level. Being a spirit guide is another level, you know, because we don't all need to be, I guess, we're not all a part of what Earth has to do with, you know. And if you're brave enough, if you are on earth, you were actually brave enough to be here to experience the duality of being a human, the duality of being able to choose in every single moment of every single day whether you're going to be fucked up or whether you're going to be a good person. And it's really sad because obviously all of us have different views of different situations, of different moments, of, you know, and it all depends on how we were raised. It all depends on how we've allowed ourselves to still believe in certain things. Like, you can be old AF and still have certain belief systems because you don't actually see what has been laid in front of you as a lesson to learn and understand and grow from, you know. So yeah, so basically I think I'm really happy with the space I'm in spiritually, even physically and mentally and emotionally. Yes, it's not always roses. Not that they're my favorite flower. I would say it's not always sunflowers. Because as a human, we're supposed to go through dips in order to learn. And the thing about cycles, and the thing about lessons, and the thing about trauma is that it will always come back. And that's the reason why shadow work is so important. Journaling is so important. Sharing our experiences and talking to the people we care about is so important. It's one of the biggest reasons why when I started actually looking after myself and stopping to be a people pleaser, I started asking people where I went wrong, you know, but the people that are still in my life. If you cut me off, oh, yeah, no. If you cut me off, best believe that's it. That's it. This video is going to be all over the place, but I got to say this. I'm really glad about where I am physically, mentally, spiritually, all of that, because even in my ego moments, even in my shadow moments, even in my depressive, sad moments, like I can still sit down and be like, oh, yeah, like the understanding and the capability to know that, okay, cool, as much as somebody might have hurt me, it's not always something that somebody does on purpose, because I know it and I can see it from myself, that every action that I do is not necessarily to hurt somebody. Every action that I do is something I believe is good for me, right? And from my viewpoint, it might look perfect. From my viewpoint, it might look like I'm the best thing since sliced cheese, you know? But then obviously we live in a world where we need to interact with other human beings. We need to have relationships with other human beings. Or if you don't have relationships with other human beings, or you're not interacting, you are actually not learning from what it was or what it is that you came here to earth to do. Because if you actually look at it, your lessons have to do with other people, your associates, the people you love, just interactions generally. That's where the lessons come from. And I realized that we place a lot of heaviness onto the fact that because we feel it so deeply, and I mean we have to feel it deeply or we won't understand it, but because we feel it so deeply, we put so much onto the fact that that's what we experience. But we forget that there will always be another side. Like, if we were our spirit self, right? Remember, you come into your body to experience emotions, to experience feelings, to experience everything that we experience, you know, feeling, sight, smell, taste, all of that stuff is because we are human. It's because we have come to experience it. Yes, animals have that certain thing as well, but you must understand that we're all here on earth. Like, if we had to actually know what's going on outside of earth, we'd realize that we are probably the only species with all the animals that live in the earth. We're probably the only ones who experience all these things that we experience, right? So one thing I understand is, if we had to actually look at our lives and all the situations that have happened as a spirit, which is apparently what happens after you die, you look at every single situation through the eyes of your spirit. Then you see everything as is, without the emotion, without the clouded judgment, without the golden, the rose-colored glasses and all of that. You see it as is, and you understand the lesson behind it, whether you learned it or not, you know. And a lot of the time, we don't really learn our lessons, so we reincarnate, and it's a cycle again. But yeah, I realized that we always need to look at what it is the other person is feeling. Yes, first you look at yourself. You look at why it is you're feeling a certain way, right? You need to understand why it is that something is affecting you the way it does. Because remember, the triggers that we have, the triggers that we get, all have to do with something that has happened in the past. And it could be something that has happened to us. It could be something that we saw happening. It could be something that even happened in a past life. It could even be generational trauma. Because remember, trauma is in our DNA. Even luck and gifts, those things are passed on. That's why this life is so dual, because all of these things are passed on. The things that your grandparents, great-grandparents were good at, the things that your grandparents and great-grandparents feared, those are the things that just continue to I guess, haunt us or give us life. So I think that the thing is, we do need to actually realize that all of this is a way to make us level up. We have come here to level up. We have come here to realize who we are, to remember who we are, and to level up. Any spirit that has chosen not to come to the school that is Earth will be on a level below us, maybe even a few levels below us, because they haven't experienced this. And literally, if you look at it properly, you'll understand that literally God is us, because we are God experiencing itself. Understand? God doesn't know. Yes, he knows a lot, but without the experience, there is no understanding. Right? One of the biggest reasons why I really just want to be the kind of person who will always look at where I am, right? And look at, say, the situations that are happening around me at the time, and try to give the second person the benefit of the doubt, right? I think it's one of the biggest reasons why I stay friends with people for so long, or I keep family members in my life, or acquaintances or whatever in my life for so long, because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, because that's what I want to get as well. I want for people to actually look at me and be like, okay, cool, she's actually changing, you know? She's actually not who she was before. But I think that we like to portray, we like to project a lot of our issues onto other people, and that is usually all we see. That's usually all we see. And because of that, it may cause issues. Because of that, it may become an issue for, say, me to see your side of the story, or for me to understand your side of the story, or for me to even want to listen, you know. And it's okay, because sometimes that's how it's supposed to be. Sometimes you aren't actually supposed to get to a point where you excel to the point that this is your last life on Earth. Sometimes you are actually supposed to die having so many other lessons and trials that you need to do again from birth. And it's okay. But I've realized that the one thing that we really need to learn how to do is to always look within. No matter how angry, yes, our ego, our traumas will always affect us because we are human, but that little moment of anger and sadness and betrayal and all of it, all those lower chakra emotions, jealousy, whatever, those need to be dealt with in a better way. You know, we need to look at, why is it that we feel jealous? Why is it that we feel angry or sad, you know? And understand where the triggers stem from. Not that these things are going to disappear completely, but understanding it will also help us to clear out any blockages that might be there, you know? And once we start understanding it, it takes a shorter period of time to be able to get over something. Yes, you won't always be fully over things. I mean, there's friends that I don't talk to at all anymore, and I think about them every day, right? But I think the only reason why I still think about them is because I know that when we were still close, we had good times. Like even family members, when we were still close, we had good times. But then you start to wonder, especially for those people who don't want to explain what you did, you always wonder like, okay, so what did I do? Like, I think that's the selfish thing that people have, where they don't put yourself in your put themselves in your shoes, where they're unable to actually just explain what they did wrong. Like sometimes you don't even need to explain it. Like I've done that a lot, where I just like cut people off and I'm like, there's no need to explain this. But I feel like sometimes, especially if the relationship is important, there needs to be an understanding or a conversation before it ends. There needs to be that conversation of, okay, cool, so I can't do this anymore because this and this and this and this. But I understand that in this human perspective, in this human understanding, that it has become so difficult for us to want to give that kind of energy to people. And it's weird because that kind of energy, if we gave it to people, it would heal us and it would heal them. Why? Because even if they aren't in your life, what would happen is you would heal from being able to speak why you were upset, and they would heal because they might take your advice and change at some point in their life, you know. But that's my take. But yeah, I think it's really just something that we all need to look at. Find the core of our triggers and issues, and learn that not everyone is actually out to get you. Understand that every action has a reaction, you know. You can't think that something's just happening to you because, oh, this person's fucked up. No. A lot of the time, something has happened. And a lot of the time, we won't actually know exactly what it was that happened. Because a lot of the time, people would rather not use their energy to heal and speak about it, but just cut off people. And it's okay. That's what we've learned. That cutting off people is better than just talking about it and just letting it out into the universe and letting that be it. But yeah, I think at some point we'll all learn how to do it. Probably not now, but I think at some point we'll learn how to do it. I think we'll probably be annoyed with the fact that we talk too much, or we express too much, or we share too much, because eventually we'll be able to be so in tune with each other that we'll be able to know when there's something wrong, or if there's something that we're doing that's wrong, you know. But like I said at the beginning, we also need to understand that because every action causes a reaction, because every trauma, every issue can become literally anything. Yeah, we need to also just remember that we can always be the villain, even if we were just trying to be the good person. Because remember, the first person that we always need to look out for is ourselves. And just because we're looking out for ourselves doesn't mean that what we're doing is right. Even if we are a people pleaser and we're trying to look after other people, it doesn't mean that what we're doing is what they want, you know. We kind of forget about that the things that make us happy aren't usually what make other people happy. The things that we are comfortable aren't usually what people are comfortable with, and sometimes we do actually need to listen and just figure that out, you know. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I hope I wasn't talking or rambling for too long. I hope this is the first of many videos, but I doubt it will be. But I am going to try to make more videos. I don't think December I will be, but maybe January, the next time I learn a lesson. But yeah, that's from me. Lots and lots and lots of love on this Venus Day. Hope you guys have an amazing December. Amazing, what season are we in? Cancer. Southern hemisphere, it's Cancer. So a lot of emotion and all of that. But Those of you who celebrate Christmas, those of you who know you shouldn't. I'm joking. Yay! I don't want to talk about that right now. But yeah, I'll see you guys probably in the new year, even though it's already the new year, but in the new year that the Gregorian calendar says that it is, if that makes sense. Lots of love. Thanks for watching.